We're here with number 10, first base, Chris Chambliss. Chris, it's always an honor to talk to you, man. What have you been up to?
Nothing. I'm retired.
Having fun?
Yeah, I walk my dogs every day, and I'm at home in Atlanta, and my wife, we're doing okay.
You miss the game of baseball. You miss being around. You know, 'cause you're a lifer. I mean.
Yeah, I did. As you know, I coached a long time after I played, and I missed the game a little bit. I don't watch it much on TV, but I do watch the highlights and try to keep track of some guys. But yeah, it's just one of them things. Time goes on, and it's a young man's game.
That's right. Talking about today's young man's game, what's your thoughts about that buzzer, laptop, and the dugout, and all this new technology that they have?
Well, I don't know. I'm not there, so. But it's very useful. We use film when I was coaching. There was a lot of film activity where we would film the guys. The guys would watch the pitchers on the film and watch their own at bats. A lot. But now the technology of course, you put it right there in the dugout.
Can you imagine all the technology they have today? If you would have had it when you were playing, you think it would have been advantageous?
I don't know. The truth is, it's individual. There are some guys who can take in a lot of that knowledge and really put it together on the field. But then there are other guys who sometimes it's too much knowledge and it confuses them, or they're not paying attention to the right things. But there are some guys that can process a lot of that information and use it for their benefit. I'm sure it's definitely beneficial, but it's a matter of how fast you can process it and put it to use on the field.
That was my point. I always said, man, the game is getting too confusing for a player, which is just a simple game, hit, run, catch, throw, and that's it. And have some fun. Now it's, you got to do this during the day. You don't hit so it takes the fun out of it, I think.
I don't know. Yeah, maybe, but it could be, that since you're seeing all the money they make, maybe
they're right.
You better make sure that that they're doing all the crossing all the T's and dotting all the I's, so that they get all the information they can, for paying those guys that much money.
Now, hypothetically, how do you think Billy Martin would have managed or handled those the laptop in the dugout and the buzzer and all that stuff? You think how many games do you think those things would have lasted?
Yeah, no. Well, it's a different day, and it's so hard to compare. You're right, Billy. Wouldn't have been pleased with all of that, but who knows? He may have understood what's going on. You have to be there to understand it, and I'm not there either. Yeah. So. But it's hard to compare one time or another because it's just a different day, and you have to go with the flow,
Yeah. Now, we've got to talk about that shot that you hit on the playoff. Were you thinking all the way, fastball coming in, I'm going deep because Sandy Alomar is right behind me, and I don't think he's going to get the job done. So.
Oh no, I didn't think that. Anyway. Fastball, definitely, because the pitcher was Mark Littell. Mark Littell had two major pitches, fastball and slider, and he threw really hard. So there wasn't any question of what I'm looking for. But to hit a home run, I was not. I learned not to think that. When I thought home run, I would usually try to pull the ball and I would make an out. I usually ground out when I try to hit a home run.
Now, when you
so it was just a reaction, and I.
When you were rounding first and you saw all the fans come out, it must have been like in slow motion. You going around the base.
Yeah, it was pretty scary. Yeah.
How was that? That must have been a nice, good.
I really didn't feel that until second base. I hit first base and I hit second base, and then I saw nothing but people, and I fell down a little bit, and I wanted to make sure I got up right away because I didn't want people to jump on top of me. So. That trip was an amazing trip around the bases. I learned later that Willie Randolph was pushing people around to help me get by.
Reggie was knocking people out?
Yeah, well, Reggie wasn't there. Reggie was in the booth.
Oh, okay.
This was before Reggie got here. But anyway, Nettles picked up my bat, and because of that, my bat's here at the museum, and so it was an outstanding day. It was scary, of course, but when it was all over, I was real proud to be a part
man,
of it.
listen, we always remember that. I remember that. That's like one of the things that you remember when history goes through that. You always know where you're at. Listen, it's always a pleasure to talk to you, man, and I'm glad, and I hope you get back in baseball, because we need guys like you, man, to teach the right thing.
All right, my man, thank you.
And number 10, you'll always be number 10 to me, man.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
Be safe. Good luck.
All right, thank you.